From medieval battlefields to colonial rebellions, these are the 10 brutal wars that shaped one of the most powerful empires in history. It all began with a fight for survival. In the 9th century, Viking raiders launched brutal attacks on Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. One of the most decisive moments came in 878, when King Alfred the Great defeated the Viking leader Guthrum at the Battle of Edington. This victory laid the groundwork for a unified England, Britain's first step toward empire. Next came the Normans. In 1066, William the Conqueror landed in England and claimed the crown at the Battle of Hastings. This war transformed English society, brought French influence to the monarchy, and gave England its first real taste of centralized power, crucial for future imperial ambitions. The British Empire's first colony, Ireland. In 1171, King Henry II invaded Ireland under the pretext of controlling Norman lords. He subdued Irish kings, received backing from the church, and began a long, bloody history of English dominance over the island. King Edward I launched 2 fierce campaigns to subdue the Welsh. Massive castles were built to hold the land, but resistance never truly ended. These wars marked Britain's full control over the British Isles and its growing hunger for expansion. One of the longest and most devastating conflicts in history. The English and French fought over territory and royal succession. Though England ultimately lost most of its holdings in France, the war forged national identity, military innovation, and a thirst for power abroad. It wasn't just foreign lands England battled for, it fought itself. The civil war between royalists and parliamentarians redefined the monarchy, solidified centralized government, and gave Britain the stability needed to pursue empire more aggressively in the colonies. The Battle of Plassey in 1757 saw the British East India Company defeat the Nawab of Bengal, marking the beginning of British rule in India. A small force used bribery, betrayal, and brutal tactics to seize control over a rich province, eventually turning India into the crown jewel of the empire. The loss of the American colonies was a brutal blow. Britain's war with the 13 colonies exposed weaknesses in imperial control. But defeat in America only redirected imperial energy elsewhere, toward Africa, Asia, and the Pacific. In South Africa, British forces clashed with the mighty Zulu kingdom. The war was marked by one of Britain's worst early defeats at Isandlwana, followed by a swift and brutal retaliation. The victory expanded the British Empire's most controversial colonial war. Against Dutch-descended settlers in South Africa, Britain used scorched earth tactics and built concentration camps. Though victorious, the war stained Britain's image and hinted at the beginning of the empire's decline. These 10 brutal wars weren't just battles for territory. They were battles that defined an empire. They forged power, but also resistance, glory, but also pain. And while the empire may be gone, the scars of its wars remain carved into the history of the world.